Welcome back, Girl Paddlers. I'm your host, BobbieAnne, joined again by our founder.
Sonya, hey.
Hey, it is the end of 2025. We've had an incredible year so far, and we are going to do a year end wrap up for you guys. That seems to be pretty popular across all platforms now. I don't know if you guys are a big fan of your Spotify wrap ups, but I am. And I know that YouTube actually just introduced their own wrap up as well. So that one was interesting to me because I was like, I don't know if I want to post all of the weird things that I'm like searching for on YouTube. So I always post my Spotify Wrapped, but I think my YouTube I'm going to keep to myself because I don't need everyone to know exactly how weird I am. And I think you're an Apple user, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm an
Yeah.
Apple user.
So do
Yeah.
you guys do your do you
Apple
listen
wrap
to
up.
your Yeah.
Yeah, I do. It's not something I share either because I listen to different things on different platforms, and yeah, no one would make sense of it.
All over the place.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yep.
was a little worried about mine this year because my sister hijacked mine for quite some time. Like when we do school runs in the morning, she's
Hmm.
always using mine. So I was worried mine was going to get a little messed up. But somehow
Yeah,
the stuff I listen to all the time really pulled through. One thing that I think is really fun about my wrap up is they now do a thing where it tells you like what your most popular day was of like your longest listening. And right at the very top, it was there was like a little quirky note or something that was like, what were you doing on this day? Like you were bouncing all over the place. It was the day that I was driving down for our Crystal River retreat.
but you had that
And I
long
was just, yeah,
drive.
I had
Yeah.
like a 16-hour drive. So I was just like ramming through all of my playlists. I was like bouncing around all kinds of podcasts, trying to keep my brain awake. So, anyway, speaking of stats, that's what we're going to run down today. We have got a lot of fun things that we're going to share about the podcast and the Girl Paddlers community. And I think it's going to be interesting for you guys, especially knowing kind of where everybody's listening from. I know it was fun for me to research this, seeing where you guys are listening from, what are your most popular topics and episodes. So that's what we're going to go ahead and jump into. So
I
we're going
love
to
data.
I do too.
I love looking at all this stuff, and maybe we're geeky. Well, because we're both marketing people, so
That's
we
true.
always like to see all this stuff.
I think being in marketing, you have to be a little tuned into loving numbers and
Yeah,
stats and data.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, first category that we're going to jump into for the day is our top 5 episodes. So, we haven't had a full year of podcasting just yet because we kicked it off in the spring, but we did make it for the majority of the year. I think we started out pretty strong. So, our number one, starting from the top and working our way down to number 5, our number one episode was How to Plan a Theme Paddle with Beth Vasily. And she is one of the funnest people to talk to, I think. She gave us all kinds of different tips about Halloween paddles, holiday paddles, just dressing up and different activities that you can do on a paddle when you take those type of tours, how to plan it yourself. I think it was a really valuable episode. And obviously, you guys thought the same thing because it was the number one listened to episode for the year. And that was episode 10.
That's
So,
cool. I think that people love to dress up, and why not dress up while you're doing your favorite, you know, pastime? So, yeah, and that episode was fun. Beth is an awful lot of fun, and she gets a nice group of people too that she gets to go paddle out with.
yeah, very lucky to have such a good spot that you can do tours like that too. She is in Holland, Michigan, and they have a nice little route that they can take all the time and you can just tell she loves it too. She was talking about all like she has a whole closet full of stuff that she just is always sharing with everyone and coming up with different ideas. You can tell she's a really creative person. And I think it speaks to us having a lot of creative women in our community as well, because this was their favorite episodes.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's really fun. So moving down to number 2 was one of our tips episode. It was boat versus board. That was episode 2. So actually our first like official episode. And yeah, I think that one was packed full of tips. I think we have a lot of beginners in our community that are searching and maybe just deciding to get on the water for the first time and not sure if they want a kayak or paddleboard. So hopefully that episode was helpful for you all.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's a great intro kind of episode for people. Just they know they're interested. They know they want to get out in the water, and it's if they have to pick one vessel, what's it going to be? So I can certainly see why that was the second highest listened to podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta start somewhere. So
yeah,
and,
exactly.
that was a good one. Next on the list, it seems like you ladies out there might like us a little bit because the number 3 on the list was Meet the Host. That was me and Sonia. So
They like us. They really
they
like
do.
us.
So I hope you enjoyed getting to meet us, and I hope you're still enjoying the podcast. I think for me, it's always really fun to get to chat with everyone and meet so many new people in our community face to face for the first time. Well, not
Yeah,
face to face, video to video, but
yeah,
pretty close.
yeah.
And I feel like a lot of these types of episodes, like our Meet the Host, and where we're getting to just chat a little more like this one, kind of makes people feel like we're becoming friends and that you're in the room with us, hopefully.
Yeah, I think when people just hear a conversation, they're my favorite podcast too, is when there's just a dialogue happening, a chat, a conversation. And, I'm really glad that people are listening to us. We are, I think, one of the only female focused paddling podcasts in the world. So, you know, we'd love to obviously, we'd love to have more people listen to us, but I think that it puts us in a very unique position. And I'm glad that we can be here to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, unless something's changed in the last few months that we were looking, I look all the time to see if anyone else is having similar conversations to us. I mean, that's really where this podcast blossomed from, is the need for having these conversations, being female focused. And not just concentrated on one type of vessel or one type of sport. So yeah, I agree. I think we're the only ones, if not, you know one of the top anyway. Thank you guys so much for listening and wanting to meet us. So, moving down the list is episode 7. This was a really cool one too. And she is a big supporter of the community. She has given us discount codes for you girls, and I love their products. We've seen them out on several of the paddling trips that we've done, and that is creating paddling accessories with Paige from Floats Up. She is just a really fun person to talk to. I really enjoyed our conversation. And apparently, you guys are really loving their products as well, because this was on the top of the list of episodes you wanted to listen to.
And we love supporting other businesses, other small businesses, especially if they're run by women. So, yeah, we love Paige. We love their products. I know they're putting some more stuff out in 2026, so I can't wait to see what they're gonna launch. But we also appreciate our community supporting Paige and her business and other women that we've kind of helped promote through the community. So, thank you.
Yeah, and I think this was a really interesting kinda data point that this was on the top of the list because it was really different from the rest of our conversations that we had. It was much more technical, it was more business focused, because we really went through the ins and outs of what it takes to manufacture a product, and the rest of our conversations, I think, are more geared towards just, like, motivation and, kind of climbing big hills and conquering,
Yeah.
those big hills and things like that, which, she definitely did just in a more business aspect way. So, thank you
Maybe
so
drop in the
much.
comments if when you're listening to this podcast, if you want to see more of those types of stories too of women who are building a business in this space. We have talked about we've tried to put a couple of those types of episodes into our schedule, but let us know if these types of stories really sit with you well. Let us know.
All right, moving on down to number 4. And again, this is another tips episode. So it seems like you ladies are liking the tips that we're providing for you. So that's good to know for next season is 8 actionable tips for becoming a better paddler. And again, I think this goes to show that we have a lot of beginners in the community or, people who are just wanting to level up. Maybe they just started last season and this is their first full season on the water.
I think that a quick point on this because it's just something that noted in my head that there is a lot of that type of content available online. However, what differentiates us is that we are coming from a female perspective. Like a lot of the other content is very generic and very co-sex. It's they're just telling you how to do something as a person, not as a female. And I think having that female perspective makes a big difference. So I'm proud of us for doing these things.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And it's clearly connecting to, the women in our community, whether you're in our online Girl Paddlers community on Facebook or you just happen to find us through whatever podcast app you're
Yeah.
listening to. Thank you so much for being with us to work through your journey. And then last number 5, definitely not least, because I thought this was an incredibly cool episode. And since then, this guest has actually written a book about the journey that we talked about on the podcast. And it is out now. And it goes through every single detail that she experienced on her journey. She actually kept a journal on the entire journey and published every detail about it. And that was episode 9. And that was conquering. This one's hard because it is
I was
it's
wondering
a
how you're gonna say this.
Mongolian word, yeah.
Yeah.
Delgamoran is
Sounds
what
good.
Google told me.
Yeah.
River with rosemary sales.
She's an
Again,
amazing woman. Like, she just it's she just gets out there and does stuff. And that's what we all need to do. Just get out there and do it. And I mean, who would think, oh, let me just go paddle a river in Mongolia. I've never done it before, but I'm just going to go do that.
yeah.
She's
And
amazing.
what's even more impressive is so they were on this trip. They were one of the, I believe, one of the first, if not the first English group to ever do this. And, in a canoe. She's gonna go back, I think, either next year or year after next and do it on a paddleboard. I was like, "That is
Uh,
intense." And this
yeah,
is like there's whitewater areas.
yeah,
It's, completely, like, uncharted, like, they were one of the first groups to ever do this. They were making maps along the way because there is no mapping for this particular route. I just all around very impressive woman.
yes,
Very cool story. And
yeah.
she also has her own community over in England. So she has a really cool community. She actually does paddling and all kinds of different outdoor activities with everyone from kindergartners to people in their 90s. So,
Yeah, yeah.
she's a very community oriented person as well, which I really appreciated. So that is our top 5 episodes. Thank you so much for listening to any of the episodes that you listen to throughout the season. But as Sonia mentioned, we would really love to hear what types of episodes that you would like to continue hearing in the next season. I think this was a pretty successful first season for the kickoff of a new podcast in a very niche category. As you mentioned, we're the only one that's women focused. I think we might be the only ones that are also open
All
vessel.
inclusive.
We're not like
Yeah, yeah,
we're not like vessel
exactly.
or water sport specific. So come one, come all. It's for all
Exactly.
the women who love the water. So I hope you're getting that. I hope that's coming across pretty clearly and that you're feeling welcome and that you have met some friends while you've been here. All right. Well, moving on to our next category, and that is going to be our locations. Again, my marketing brain is like, where is everybody at? Where's our little, like, most popular pods of people at? So, did you want to go ahead and let us know
Yeah.
what our top 5 locations are in the
I'm
US?
really surprised. Yeah, these are in the US. We actually have a list of other countries as well that we'll come to in a minute. But top 5 locations, I was a little surprised, but kind of happily surprised. The number one top location is Chicago, Illinois. Um, I didn't realize we had a lot of members. I don't know that we have a lot of members in our group from the immediate Chicago area. I know we do within Michigan and within Illinois, but not necessarily within Chicago. So it's great to see that we've got some listeners that are coming in from Chicago. Um, Maybe because it's so cold up there in the wintertime that there's nothing else to do, and so they've got to listen to a podcast.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, this is for the whole year though. So,
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
true.
throughout the summer, they were
True.
checking us out. So,
Yeah,
I
maybe
mean,
they're interested in getting out on the water on
yeah,
the. They've got the Great Lakes up there, so
that's
yeah,
true. And Chicago's
yeah,
a big metropolitan area. So it might
yeah,
be that people are just really looking to get out in nature, on
yeah,
the weekends
yeah.
and kind of get out of
True.
the city a little bit, get into the
Yeah,
water.
exactly. True.
Yeah.
So number 2 is in your state is Memphis, Tennessee. And not surprising, we have quite a few women in our group from the Tennessee area, but Memphis, God, I've never been there, believe it or not, but it's a kind of a dreamy city to me. Maybe Elvis, all
I
that.
was gonna say, are you a big Elvis fan?
No, I just maybe because I've heard about him my whole life because of Elvis, and my
Yeah.
dad was a big Elvis fan. So, but yeah, Memphis.
I was actually surprised about this one because I feel like the mass of our like Tennessee girls are over in East Tennessee, up in the mountains,
Yeah,
and where all the like, East Tennessee and West Tennessee are completely different landscapes. When you get over into East Tennessee, you're up in the mountains. That's where all the big like waterfalls and like cool rivers and tons of lakes are over on that side. West Tennessee is like when you get Memphis is actually pretty close to Arkansas, and so that's when you start getting into more of like lowland, farmland.
yeah,
We don't have waterfalls on this side really, so
yeah. Maybe
because
they're
I'm
just
actually
dreaming of the days that they can
yeah,
go out east and go paddling. Yeah,
yeah. So
that's
maybe
good.
I don't know. I'm surprised that that was such a concentration area of all of the areas in
Hey,
Tennessee because
Tennessee.
there's not like a lot of water. I mean, there's a river that runs through, but it's not like a paddling type river. It's the Mississippi. So yeah,
No. Well, though we did have that lady with her family who
that is
paddled the entire
true.
Mississippi River.
Yeah,
Mind blowing again. Yeah.
for
Like
anyone
7
listening,
kids?
yes, a whole family of kids that she's
Yeah.
paddling on her own. Okay, so for anyone who hasn't seen this in the group or hasn't seen it on the news, there is a mom who has taken her whole crew of kids and paddled the entire Mississippi. And while I'll link an article or something in the notes for this episode so you guys can go look into that because
Yeah.
I think she's just finishing up or
Yeah. She has.
coming to the end.
Yeah.
But all summer long, we were kind of seeing her updates. She's in the Girl Paddlers group and always like kind of shares her stops with us and different
Yeah.
paddling destinations. So really cool story,
Yeah.
and definitely, definitely something to check out. Very impressive because the
Inspiring too,
Mississippi
like
is a
taking
beast.
a beast and that's a lot of kids.
Yeah,
There was like 7 of them.
yeah.
So
I'm not sure I would take 7 kids to the movies, much less down the
no,
Mississippi.
no.
So,
I know. You and me
so
both.
yeah.
Alright, number 3, Seattle, Washington. I'm not too surprised there just purely because it's in such a, it's, very ad like, they're known for being adventure people out west, they drive Subarus and they go hiking and climbing mountains, so not surprised. Happy to see them there because it's a great community in Seattle. I love Seattle.
I do too.
Yeah,
I went for the
yeah.
first time this summer,
Oh,
and
yeah, you did?
I did, and it was actually an incredibly lucky trip because I think I went the one weekend of the year that it
It's
didn't rain,
not
so
raining?
it was
They're getting
magical.
some yeah, they're getting a lot of rain now. There's a lot of flooding, so we are thinking about people out that way because
Oh, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
all the rivers are flooded, a lot of businesses that are located on the rivers out there being washed away, so definitely thinking about them. Alright, here's a place I have been, as well, is Sault Ste. Marie in Michigan. It's actually, a gorgeous town right on the river that separates the US from Canada. So you can actually see Canada across the river and you can see the big cargo boats. They're taking all your stuff in the big cargo ships. They go by. We stayed at a campground there in Sault Ste. Marie. So yeah, lovely place. It's
Really cool.
in the upper peninsula in Michigan. And last one is Detroit, Michigan. So a couple in Michigan. Detroit is in the mitten part of Michigan. I don't know if you all know this. This is the only way I can tell that it's the state of Michigan is because it looks like a mitten, like a mitten. The Upper Peninsula is at the very top. You actually have to cross the bridge to get to it. But the lower part is where Detroit's located, almost in Indiana. So yeah, I've never been to Detroit. I've been around Detroit, but never been into Detroit. But it's right on one of the Great Lakes as well.
Wow,
So
so
yeah,
lots of Michigan girls out
yeah,
there.
go Michigan.
Nice. I was gonna
I
say,
love
maybe
Michigan.
we need to have a meetup out in Michigan.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, that
All
is
right.
our top 5 locations, so kind of all over the place. I thought we were gonna be a little more East Coast concentrated because
Me
that's where,
too.
a
Florida,
lot of
hello.
yeah, that's where a lot of our activity comes from. We have a lot of Tennessee girls and, West Virginia girls, Florida for sure. But yeah, so we're all over the place. So for everyone listening, wherever you're at, thanks. Okay,
Yeah.
so next category, we had a lot of conversation about this before the episode started. So those are all what we are US based. So we have our largest concentration of is of course in the US, and that's why our top locations are all US cities. But moving down the list, we actually had quite a few international listeners. So thought this was
And
super
we
interesting.
appreciate you. We love
Yeah.
international people.
Don't know how you're finding
Mm.
us, but thanks.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
And they were not the ones that we thought they were gonna be. So,
No.
again, goes back to just loving data for what it is. Numbers are numbers. So, the most popular besides the US is Singapore. Was mind blown by this.
Yeah.
How did you
We
find
we
us?
still can't work yeah,
What do you
we have
love
a lot
about
of
it?
digging to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
tell us,
super
if you're
interesting.
listening to this episode, tell us, how you found us, because we would
Yeah,
love to know. And yeah, tell us, I mean, Singapore, it's so exotic. Tell us more about you.
it is, and so
Yeah.
far from us, and
Yeah.
in the group, I don't ever really notice anyone from Singapore engaging or
No.
anything like that. So if you are in the Girl Paddlers group and you're from Singapore, we would love to hear from you. Definitely comment, how you found us, all of that fun stuff. We would love to get to know you better. And then next one, number 2. So pretty close second was the UK. This one I wasn't as surprised about because we had Rosemary Sales on for episode 9, and she's from England. So, I know that we had quite a few friends over there that have
We
been
had a
listening
lot
ever
of
since.
members we had a lot of members join the community this year from the UK,
That's true.
like, and from Europe in general, but the UK specifically. So, yeah, it's good to see them in this list too, not just in the group, but also on our podcast list that they are also listening. So,
And
thanks,
then
Rosemary, for bringing your friends.
yeah, for sure. I know she definitely helped out,
Yeah,
and, she's also a big supporter of our community as much as we love hers as well.
yeah, exactly.
So, and then next one on the list, again, I wasn't super surprised, but I was
Yeah,
surprised because I thought this was going to be number 1 because we have a lot of these women in the community who are engaging and always going on trips,
yeah,
and that was Canada. So, our
yay.
Canadian girls are coming in strong.
Yeah, I love Canada. I spent some time in Canada this year too, so
You
I love
did.
Canada. Yeah, I'm actually maybe going to Canada right next year as well.
Wow, really?
Yeah, different
What
part of
part?
Canada. Yeah, so it's called the Maritimes. It's up in the upper northeast. So like Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island,
Mm,
some of that area. So
nice. East
yeah,
Coast.
maybe. Yeah,
Cool.
we'll see.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, same
love
thing
Canada.
for everyone else. So if your area wasn't on the list, but you are an avid listener, we would love to know where you're from. So comment in the group, comment on this episode wherever you're seeing it, and let us know where you're from. We would love
Yeah,
to hear about it. Okay, so we've talked about our online community a lot too. So that is where all this girl power stuff started from. It is where the majority of our engagement happens. We have a Facebook group called Girl Paddlers, and that's where all of our meetups are planned. That's where we promote all of our things. That's where we find all of our friends. And it blew up this year in a way that I just couldn't even have prepared for.
and we couldn't
So
keep up with it.
no, we actually I know I had to enlist some help. We had to ask some
Yeah,
friends to because I actually go in and we manually approve every member that comes in just to really do our very best to weed out any bots or fake accounts or spam. We really try to make sure that the integrity of the group is continued through every new member. So our online community grew by 4,670 members since last January. So since this January, January 2025 to December, over 4,000 new people have discovered Girl Paddlers, have made new friends, have learned about paddling, have discovered paddling, and leveled up in ways that has been incredible to experience and watch from afar.
and we are
So,
now that's seven that we started at 7,000 ish at the beginning of the year, and now we're at 11.7 thousand,
mm,
which
yeah,
is a
we're just
lot.
steadily growing every
Yeah.
week, and it's so encouraging to know that we really did create a space that people needed. that was exactly what women were looking for, the exact type of vibe that people were looking for. I think it just goes to show that it's just organic and we're not I think it's I hope you don't mind me saying, like, we're not putting ad money into, like, growing the groups. This is all
Yeah,
happening organically.
yeah. We
We
can't afford to run ads to grow our group.
That's true.
We are
In
not
case
rich
you did
people.
yeah, I know. Yeah, in case you didn't know, we're funding this all ourselves.
Yeah,
Um, well, you know
exactly.
tried our best anyway. So
Yeah,
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 there's not a lot of money that gets pumped into this. So
yeah.
this is all happening organically by you ladies telling your friends and coming on our trips and meeting friends and getting together after the fact and
Mhm.
sharing a lot of helpful information. And something I really do want to note and kind of take a moment to brag on our community about is I think in the like 2.5, almost 3 years that we have been running these Facebook groups, engaging online, I can count on one hand how many comments or like conversations that we've had to remove.
Yeah,
And that
yeah,
is impressive for a group of 11,000 people coming together. You know, Especially internationally, like, people are gonna butt heads every once in a while. People have different opinions, different perspectives. That's okay. That's why we're all inclusive. But I am just very impressed by the way that the people in our community are able to communicate respectively. I think even when people ask the same question over and over, people always jump in and are
yeah,
helpful in
yep,
answering. They're kind when they're answering. And I think it just continuously encourages people to feel comfortable to keep asking questions. There's no done questions, Um, people are at all different levels in their paddling journeys, and I think it's just I love the feeling of being able to be in a space where you don't feel intimidated to ask a
judged. Yeah,
question. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, there's no judgment. It's like a no judgment zone. Though, like you said, there have been a small handful of times where we've had to kind of step in, and one person actually removed themselves after, you know, putting a comment forward. But they kind of self moderated and realized that this was not the space for them, which is great. You know what? Um, if you need to have those types of conversations, there are plenty of other places to do that. And we wanted to create the environment. I think we've been very successful at creating, and that's not just on us. That's mostly on our members and the moderators.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just
So
goes to show that the right type of people will attract the
back to
other
other.
right
Yeah,
type of people,
yeah,
you just
yeah.
when you find a space that's comfortable and you can
Hmm.
feel and just see
Yeah.
immediately when you arrive that this
Hmm.
is a kind space, a welcoming
Yeah.
space, I think it speaks volumes, so,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Exactly.
welcome to all of our 4,670 members that joined us this year. We're so glad to have you, and we're excited, hopefully, a lot of you will be listening to the podcast. Next section. So, this is again just taking more time to brag about our community, really. That's what mostly this episode is about, is taking a chance to be able to brag about our community.
Hmm.
And with all of the new members arriving, we actually were able to accomplish our most meetups yet. So, the last few years, it was a little slow to get going. We had a few people that would meet up, one or two people. But as far as larger organized meetups, really have to brag on our volunteer moderators for this one because we had a full summer of meetups happening almost every weekend, to be honest. And, somewhere around the country, we were having a meetup. I wanted to give special recognition to two of our moderators who really put in a lot of extra work this season. And we have a few bonuses that we kind of give to our volunteer moderators for them to work towards and earn, kind of gamifying the volunteering situations. Once a volunteer moderator accomplishes 3 meetups, fully, planned and executed the meetup, they get a moderator package. So they get kind of like a little merch bundle. They get t-shirts and mugs and things to hand out at their next meetups. So, our 2 moderators, Rachel and Crystal. Rachel is from West Virginia and Crystal is from Southern California. So, that is where our most popular meetups were this summer because they really did a lot of work into, you know, blossoming their communities where they're at. And I think that was that was really fun for a lot of women throughout this season. They really got to find a lot of new places to paddle in their local areas that they didn't know about. And actually, Rachel, she did such a good job this summer that her local newspaper did a feature on her and
Yeah,
about how great and booming that paddling is in West Virginia. So
yeah.
that was
And we
impressive.
appreciate Rachel too, because she mentioned us, and, we appreciate her for doing that when she didn't have to, because it really was, was about her, and, thanks, Rachel, and also thanks, Crystal, because you guys really stepped up, and, just what makes this community so good is when we're able to kind of meet not just online, but also meet up, offline and support each other, have fun.
Yeah. And we
Yeah,
really couldn't have grown this community as quickly and as large as it is without women like Rachel and Crystal. So we
exactly.
appreciate you so much. And hopefully you hear this and know how much we love having you in our community. And hopefully you're enjoying building that community by you. I think it's really fun to see these little kind of pods explode in certain areas that you wouldn't
Yeah,
expect, you know? And even through
exactly.
them, I've gotten to learn a lot about like West Virginia through Rachel, just from all of the different places that she's
That's
hosted.
a
And
great place for the outdoors. It's
I had no
yeah,
idea. Apparently,
yeah,
it's booming.
yeah,
And of course,
it is.
Southern California is, I have a very special place in my heart for Southern California already. So, I loved seeing everyone's adventures. And I think it's nice too just to get to see pictures of everyone, even if we don't get to personally attend these meetups. It's nice to just see the girls together and see all of the different types of scenery. I think it's really fun with us being such a large community and having people spread out from coast to coast and up in Canada and England. And, it's interesting to see what different types of water everyone is on and the different types of animals that people get to see in their area.
Yeah, there's a couple of women that are regular paddlers. There's especially one up in, southwestern Canada, near Vancouver, and she paddles a lot, and she's out on the water, she gets to see so many cool things, and she's doing this in cold temperatures, like,
Oh, yeah.
mm, really cold temperatures, but she's amazing. I love to see her stuff. And there's another lady who paddles quite regularly on Lake Tahoe, and that's kind of one of our bucket list type trips is to go to Lake Tahoe because it's crystal clear. You can like, there's no sediment, nothing in the water. It's crystal clear, and it's just gorgeous to watch their paddles. So, yeah, please keep sharing those. They're inspirational for us, and, we love to see I just love to see what other places are like, especially if you're a traveler, that you like to see what other places are like, even if you don't get to go to them often. I do. Maybe it's
Yeah.
just a me thing.
No,
Maybe it's a you and
definitely
I
not.
thing.
Yeah. No, I really don't think so because when other girls post in the group and share their pictures, it's just people love to ask questions
Yeah.
of like, "Oh my gosh, like,
Where is
how
this?
long was it? Where was it? What was the
Yeah.
water like?" So
Yep.
I think I think everyone here loves it.
Yeah.
So if
Mhm.
you
True.
didn't know, you can tag us on any social media platform that you're on, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We love to see it. And in many cases, we'll share it with the whole community, not just in our private Facebook group, but across our main socials publicly as well. So please tag us whenever you're doing fun stuff. So we've talked a lot about events already, but that is actually the next category on our list. Wanted
Yeah.
to talk about, we had a pretty full calendar this year. I think this is the year that we really had a nice full season where we're like fully in it, ready to go. And we had enough help this season to accomplish a lot of things. So,
Yeah.
would you like to talk about some of the events that we were able to do this year?
Yeah, of course. So the first one was the first Crystal River Manatee Retreat, which was held in March. And it was amazing. It was the first real group retreat that I was able to go to, me personally. And it just kind of opened my eyes to this opportunity of meeting up with other women. And women came from all over the country. And they didn't come with some came with their friends, but most people just kind of came solo. We all got to become really good friends. And some of these women are actually coming back again for the upcoming Crystal River Manatee Retreat in February. So looking forward to seeing them again and to seeing some new women come along as well. But that was an amazing experience. If you've never swam or paddled with a manatee, it's bucket list item. So yeah, we'd love
Sure.
for you to join us, by the way. But yeah, we'll be doing those every year. The next one was the Mammoth Cave one, which I think you went on. Actually, you've been on all three of these, but yeah, the Mammoth Cave one, which is a cool kind of place, Mammoth
Yes.
Cave. And you didn't, were you paddling in the cave or was it
We
down
didn't.
close by?
Yeah, so the caves themselves, you can actually do cave tours to go and see. Like Mammoth Cave is named after that because there were a lot of mammoth bones and fossils that were found within
Mm,
these caves. So big clusters of like really impressive fossils. But so those are walking tours, but there are several caves that you can paddle into and kind of explore around. However, we were there right after a flood, so the caves that we should have been able to pop into were showing about this much. So
yes.
we didn't get to go inside the caves. However, the water was really nice. The weather ended up being a perfect day out, and the park itself, we it was kind of a small group of us, so we took time to just explore the park around us afterwards as well,
Yeah,
which was really fun. It's a
that's
national
great.
park, so
It's
highly
that's a
recommend
great
it.
place too. We should do
Oh
that one
yeah.
again, and hopefully there's no flooding right before.
Yes. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I think it was you that said that the pictures that I posted that the river looked like chocolate milk, it was so dark.
Yes, it was.
And
It was
that
like
was just
chocolate milk.
because yeah, so that was just from all the flooding, but, yeah, I
Yeah.
would love to do that again and definitely take time. So there's actually a longer route as well. We did the 5 mile, but there's like a 12-mile one if we coulda kept going if we wanted to, but we kinda had the day planned for a set amount of time because we all went out to dinner after and, so it was a fun outing, and I would really love to do it again at a different time of year. But if you're one of those people who likes to mark off, if you've got your national park passport, that's a really fun one. Definitely stop by.
Yeah. Beautiful. And then this last one is the fall foliage paddle, which was this year held in Lake Anna State Park in Virginia, which I know quite well. I've spent a bit of time there myself, but it's a great place to see the fall color change. And I think the goal of this one really was to see that color, to be on the water and see all the tree change. And so you were at that one as well. How was
I
it?
was. And it was our first fall paddle as well. So hopefully that will be an annual one as well. We've talked about maybe doing a different location every year. But honestly, Lake Anna was a dream as well. I wouldn't mind going back there at all. They have a really nice kayak launch that they've added to the state park. So launching, we had a group of about 15 of us. We were out on the water in no time because there's multiple stations. And then, some people just launched off the bank. And so we were able to go 3, 4 people at a time, got on the water very quickly. We
Yeah,
also had our
right.
Virginia moderator, Kimberly, joined us to do yoga sessions at the end. The day started off a little rocky because of the weather, because, being in the fall, it can be real hit or miss where whether it's going to be freezing cold or not. Lake Anna is a little bit higher elevation, so we're getting closer to the mountains over there as well. So it was actually pretty freezing when we arrived, but within the hour, the sun came out. It was
Oh, it's
perfect
all,
weather, nice and
yeah.
warm. Yeah, we got out on the water, so we ended up doing yoga at the end, but the fall foliage was just stunning. The water was nice and calm because it was at the time of year that all the vacationers had left, so there wasn't any big boats or jet skis or anything around. It was just the girls on the water, so it was nice. We were pretty much the only ones out there. I mean, we saw a few fishermen here and there, but it was mostly just us. We had the lake to ourselves, so
Perfect.
couldn't have planned that
Perfect.
any better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the fall foliage, I actually added a little extra craft to the end that people had the option of doing, and it was like clear bookmarks. So we collected
Oh,
foliage from the
yeah.
paddle, and then when we got back on land, we put them in a little clear bookmark. So everybody had a
Oh,
little
that's cool.
souvenir,
Yeah.
and a little piece of Lake Anna to take home.
Perfect.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I
fun.
think I'd love to note here that if anyone who's listening, if there's a meetup that you'd like to do or help us organize or anything like that, let us know. But we've just touched on a few of the ones that we've done this year. But those are really a great opportunity for everyone to meet in person. You get together with like-minded women, get out on the water and make some new friends. So just let us know.
So it was a big year. That's all of the stats that I pulled together. I didn't want to data you to death. So I didn't want to
We
get
may
too
have,
nerdy
but
with
that's
it.
okay.
Yeah. I didn't want to get too nerdy with it, but I thought these were interesting. And if you came in, maybe you joined the group at the tail end of the season or, you didn't, you just met us or didn't even know about everything that was going on. I thought this was a good opportunity to kind of get to know the community a little better, let you know kind of what we're about, what we do throughout the year, and hopefully you'll be with us next season to be part of next year's stats. So,
Yeah, and we have some
yeah.
big things coming up next year.
We do. As big of a year as 2025 was, 2026 is going to be pretty awesome in my opinion.
We are changing things up.
We
Yeah,
are. But again, I mean, by the end of the year, we would have added probably at least 5,000 members because we're just adding more and more every week. And we've just gotten to the point where it's time for change. There's certain needs, once the group kind of levels up in size like that, there's different needs for a group that size. So we've been working on a lot of fun stuff.
we
I will
have.
say that we are going to take a pause at the end of this year. So we're at the end of the year now. We're going to take a pause with the podcast to prep for season two. We're concluding season one here, and I highly recommend if you missed any of the episodes, go back, maybe re listen to your favorite one, or if you missed any, definitely catch up on those. I mean, some of the ones that were kind of my favorite didn't even end up on the top of the list. The national park episode was like so
I
fun to
love that
me.
one.
I nerded out
Yeah,
so hard about that
yeah.
one. So, things like that. When as you're starting to prep for the next season, pick out those tips episodes, re-listen to those, get ready for the next season. But in the meantime, we're going to be taking a brief break to prep for all the new things that we have happening in 2026. Get some more guests together. Of course, research some new topics for you. So in that break, though, as we're prepping for 2026 season, we are going to be looking for sponsors. We have gotten to the point of the podcast that we're pretty strong here now, and we're going to be looking for some sponsorship opportunities. So, whether you have a business, a paddling business yourself, you are a big fan of one that you would like to recommend to us, we're taking applications.
Yeah, and we've tried to make these sponsorship packages affordable because we what we do offer is we offer a multitude of ways to help promote your business or the business of someone you may know, not just within the podcast but within our community. So we've kind of put some packages together. It will be live on our website shortly. And so let us know if you know somebody or if you're interested yourselves, because we'd love some help support for this podcast to be able to keep it going. It's not something that unfortunately is free for us to create. These episodes do take money to create, so it'd be great to have a sponsor to help support the growth of Girl Paddlers for 2026.
And I know we're working on having a few different options to do that as well. So
Yeah,
either sponsoring an individual episode or sponsoring,
a whole
a
season.
quarter of a season. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's, a lot of different perks that are coming with that. And there's going to be options for whether you're a small business, a larger business, or a big brand. We're going to have all of that information in the show notes for you, the application, our personal emails that you can reach out to us. There's a lot of different ways to contact us. So if you're interested, we have a really cool community here. We
Yeah,
would
we
love to
do.
hear from you.
Yeah.
So, if you made it to the end, we have a very special announcement that we have been working on for weeks and weeks and weeks now. We will be working on for weeks and weeks after this to
Yeah.
make it absolutely perfect for you. But we have something special coming up in the spring. Sonia, would you like to tell us?
Yeah. So we've recognized that we've hit a point with the Facebook group that it is rather large and robust. And now we want to create more of a private community for women who paddle. So something that goes beyond the casual groups on Facebook, but creating a real, true, deeper connection type of community. So that's what we're creating. And there's going to be a bunch of features, one of which we want to mention now. We're not going to mention everything because you need to stay tuned for that. But one of the ones we want to mention is a way for you to find and identify like-minded women in the area that you are located in, as well as great paddling locations. So we'll have a tool to allow you to kind of find those other women paddlers and other great locations for you to paddle. So one of the great features that we'll be offering in this private community is kind of um, it'll be different to the Facebook group, a little bit deeper, and you'll get access to a lot more resources. So we're so excited about this. This is something we've been thinking
Yeah.
about for a long time. We've actually been asked about it before, but we weren't in a position to be able to do it. So we want to take what we've created in Facebook and take that into a different environment and allow for that deeper connection, deeper conversations, deeper level of resources. So
And I think that is the one thing that, the really big perk about Facebook groups is that you can grow it easily. You can share it with your friends easily because you're already on social media, but there are a lot of limits to it. It can get clunky. It's really hard to really find the resources that you need sometimes. There's not a good way to organize resources. We already have a ton of resources that we provide, but it's really difficult to find. And we reshare it all the time, but there's only so much you can do with fighting the Facebook algorithm. If six people post at the same time that you post, it's going to get buried. And same thing with, the women in the group who are looking for someone to paddle with this weekend. If you post and then 10 other people are posting at the same time as you, people might not be able to find your post where you're asking to meet up. So there's a lot of tools that we're putting together that is going to make this really simple for you. It's going to it's going to allow us to be able to overcome those barriers of organization
uh-huh.
and for you to be able to get what you need out of the community. And that's, we know for a lot of you, what you need is to just be able to find women to paddle with in a quick and easy way. So this is going to be that for you.
We're excited, and that will come in early spring, and we'll be teasing some more information in the next few months. But we do have a way for you to kind of sign up for early access. So if you want to be waitlisted on the early access, then we'll have that in the show notes as well. And this will just allow you to receive notifications of when things are launching and get you in early because we'll have some special things for people who join that community early on.
And I think this is really gonna be a space for the people who really love paddling, I think, um, this is really gonna be a space for women who are seriously looking for people to paddle with and making new friends and
And
really love
connections and
exploring. Yeah,
yeah. And even some of the resource information we're gonna have available is gonna be quite different, and more in depth than is available, open to everybody else. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, even if you may love paddling and like me, I love paddling, but I don't do it as often as I would like to. So, but I just love being on the water. So if you just love being on the water, you're looking for connection, you're looking for some resources, some more information about different things, support, things like that. That's what this place will be about. This is what this
yeah,
group will be about. We have a certain level of that over in the Facebook group. This is going to be that plus some.
yeah. Yeah, there's only so much customization that can happen over there. And, this isn't just something that we wanted to do. This isn't just something that we thought would be fun to create. This is really blossoming out of the needs that we've been hearing from everyone in the Facebook group for 3 years now. We have seen that there just wasn't a good solution. We're trying to create that solution for you. So we hope it's going to be incredibly helpful if you're excited and really want to be one of the first people to know about this. As Sonia mentioned, we're going to have an early access link in the description here. That way you can get signed up ahead of time and get notified whenever we're making moves, whenever the community is getting ready to launch.
And I think this is the first place we're actually announcing this. So
It is.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we haven't done any online teasers
No,
yet. We haven't, mentioned anything in the
no.
newsletter or anything yet, so if you're
Our
listening
podcast
to this,
community. Yeah.
congrats. You are on the inside. You get to tell
Yeah.
all your friends about it because 'cause you're the first one that knows.
Exactly. Exactly. What a great year it's been. And, I personally want to thank you for being such a fantastic community manager in the group, as well as at all these meetups and just, keeping everything rolling so well. And, part of the reason we haven't had these massive, arguments and things like that within the group is because you're a great community manager. So thank you to you. Happy
Thank you
holidays.
so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much for letting me be a part of this and being such a kind of giving me
Free
the
reign.
openness yeah, the openness to do what I need to do to be able to create the space that we want it to be and,
Yeah.
giving me such a good path to make that happen. So I really appreciate you and everyone else involved. I just
Yeah.
can't I can't say enough. I say it in almost every episode just how much I enjoy getting to know all of these people. You probably don't notice, but I'm a real big people person. I'm a
Yeah.
yapper, love to talk to people. And this has just been such a great space to do that and get to know so many people. Like you mentioned, we see, we're getting to the point where we're starting to see the same women on our trips over and over again. And that just means like we're becoming closer and closer friends. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for everyone who's listening and is involved in the community and
Yes.
who wants to meet with us in person. We can't wait to paddle with you. So
Yeah. Yeah.
happy holidays to everyone. It is the
Yes.
holiday season. So
Yes,
we
you're
are
very
going
festive. This is as
I
festive as I get.
to be fair, I think it would be a little hard to like have a Christmas tree rattling around in your van or RV while you're
Yeah,
traveling. So
that's true.
like zip
I
tie it to something or I don't
Yeah,
know.
I put it on the couch when we drive down the road, yeah.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, happy
Alright.
holidays to everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us in 2025. We look forward to seeing you in 2026. And if you need anything while we're taking a break, reach out to us on any social media platform that you're on, or
Yeah.
you can email us directly. I'm BobbieAnne at Girl Paddlers. You can also reach out to hello@girlpaddlers.com. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Or
it.
me, Sonya at
Yeah.
Sonya, Sonya
Yeah.
at GoPalace.com. Yeah.
You have
Happy
all the
holidays,
emails.
everyone.
So
I do, I know, they all come to me.
all right. Have a
Thanks,
great year,
everybody.
guys.
Yeah.